So welcome to TMP. I think it's the 5th episode. TT is sadly not here. He had to go and, I don't know, he had to go and watch TV or something. So I will introduce everyone from the start. I guess you guys can introduce yourself. We start from the top.
Okay, hey there, I'm 0x. I'm from the ProtoTech server.
I'm Yever37, deck member, prior ProtoTech, prior Chorus Chat, prior decked again.
Hi, I'm Notnot Kirda, and I'm from Technicraft.
I'm Roby, and I'm from Duct.
But you guys didn't hear, Pingu is also here, but he doesn't have a microphone.
It's number 4, by the way. It's not number 5, idiot.
Okay, and then there is me. I'm just a hobo. I don't have a server.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know. We should start with the videos.
Let's just go down the list.
Yeah.
So,
let's not do it. Let's do it a little bit more quickly. I think there is a lot of repeats.
Yeah. So the videos which we've seen repeated most frequently are probably those about rail duping, which people are getting overly excited about apparently. So does somebody know a little more about that than I do?
Yeah, I guess we can go through the videos just one by one. Grimly made a video about rail duping. Yeah, a bunch of rail duping. I think he saw videos from other people and collected it. I'm not sure what to say about this. This is just a one-line code that Mojang accidentally made a mess out of. You can go in and just change one number and it's gone for all types of duping. I think it just, in my opinion, was a silly mistake. They could have easily corrected it by now, but maybe they like duping. Who knows? I guess we can go down. The second video, not Kirda, your iron farm.
Yes, it is a Technicraft server tour. It's the second one. It's about the 2048, which we built, and what mechanics it utilizes, so we don't have to use the nether or any other dimension, so it's one-dimensional. Basically, it uses 2 centers so that we can have 1 village count or cap for villagers, so we can use half the villagers as a normal 2048.
What do you mean by you
special
don't
about
use
that.
the nether?
It uses normal 2048 due to the amount of villagers it would need. If it was perfectly concentric, it would have to use the nether to do villager constraints, stuff like that.
You mean like you send in the
yes.
iron golems into the nether to kill?
Exactly.
Oh, to reduce the lag.
I'm sure you've all seen Redstone Spire's old iron farm, which uses.
Yes, but you would have to do that because you can only have so many villagers before they stop detecting stuff, because 1 per tick, I think, or something like that.
1 villager per tick. There is a queue of 64 possible different locations in total. If the location's already in the queue, you'll the position won't be added to the queue again. If you now have 64 villagers locking up the queue for the entire time and are not getting a villager into it for an entire minute, the doors will decay.
Yes, exactly. So too many villagers equals it may not register, or it could deregister a village, which would screw everything up.
Yeah.
Hence why there's 2 centers, less villagers, no nether.
Well, not necessarily less villagers, but less villager positions.
How long does it take to reset?
It's fairly slow due to the centers. It's like 47-ish hours, something like that.
Well, you're perma-loaded, right?
Yes, so it doesn't really matter. Then when it's built up, it uses the mechanics that villagers will reload themselves, so it stays loaded even if a server restarts, something like that. I think Ed showed it.
Yeah, originally. So next up, I suppose that'd be Ray Strand Farm. So
yeah, I guess it's kind of simple. Ray made it round farm.
Yeah, basically just a 128 circle with a couple of villagers attracting the drowns, which are spawning in too high water, and then they go through portals to the nether.
I think he also made it as low down as possible in order to have.
Oh yes, right. Because in 113 you have the different height map. Right. Fun.
Great. The next video.
Computer tech stuff. Who wants to go ahead with that? Yeah, 0x. I suppose you have a little bit of experience in that field.
Oh well, yeah, sure, but
I remember
I saw it. I think it's just a display, and you can like every decimal has like its own display. I don't know, and then you can stack them infinitely on top of each other, and it still subtract and adds them correctly. So you can put like 100 digits on top of each other, and it will still multiply. And I don't know what it can do.
I think it could just do add and subtract. Multiplication gets quite difficult, especially when you want to do it in a stackable manner.
You don't do it on top of each other.
Yeah.
I don't know, quite interesting, I guess. Not really super useful for survival.
Yeah.
Anyone know what exactly it's representing the numbers as? So is it
I think it's actually decimal.
binary?
It's decimal.
Yeah.
You have like 2 lines of numbers on top of each other for adding or subtracting, and then the I don't know, I think the third line where your number gets out is also on top of each other.
I guess we're a bit away from becoming survival interested in something for survival, but I mean it's going forward at least.
Well, it's sure interesting. Yeah, maybe not for survival.
I mean,
it's
realistically, I think if you wanted to do anything in survival, the main holdup is speed, right?
Yeah, speed and size, I would say.
Yeah.
And the only one that I've really seen working on truly high speed computer tech is Deco, but who seems to have abandoned the project kind of too.
No, there are multiple working on fast.
Well, fast, yes, but
yeah,
not
like
as in super speed, like what is it?
It is pretty much super speed. I don't know.
Every 3 game ticks. Haven't seen anyone working on
I think
that.
last week we had 6 game tick clockable binary to decimal converter, whatever. So people are getting into fast stuff.
Sure, 6 game ticks still half of what's possible though. If you use both edges or alternatively use appropriate zero-tick chance. Well, as you know, I myself have a couple models which don't work at the moment, so.
Yeah, I guess we can go on to the next video.
Right.
Potato farm. I think this concept is not really new, but I guess it's a different layout. Just fits in a single chunk.
Which concept does it use?
I think it's isn't it somewhat special about the food sharing?
Yeah.
I think he doesn't have. Does he have center villages? I don't think so.
So he uses a hopper to collect the items.
Yeah, but he doesn't need a center villager to make them throw out his stuff. Or whatever, or only one, I don't know.
Oh, well.
I didn't watch it completely.
I think that's a new thing. But yeah, it's sure an interesting concept.
And then comes the Minecon videos about the desert.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, well, we can go through all the biomes, quickly.
Yeah.
I think Minecon has passed, so everyone is probably aware of it. If they missed it, there is plenty, probably, recaps on it. And I'm pretty sure that anyone's watching this has probably seen the Minecon content. But I guess we could go through them quickly. The desert, the taiga, and then there was the savanna. I think the taiga, then savanna, and then the desert kind of was voted in.
The desert was out the first round, I think, and then savanna.
Yeah.
Or the other way around, I don't know, but Tiger won definitely.
Yeah, I think the first round Tiger already won by like 57%, so it had already been.
I'm not sure exactly what they promised besides berries and wolves, foxes.
The desert was palm trees and meerkats or something like that.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure exactly what they promised with the taiga. I mean, it seems a little bit vague. Berries.
Taiga, berries, foxes, I think.
Yes, fox, and then the campfire.
Campfire, yeah.
Sounds like wolves reskin.
I would have liked to see the termites, but maybe we'll get them later. We might get some interesting stuff from them, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe renewable clay. I don't know.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, they had quite a lot of things where the community gets involved, like renaming the mobs, and I think the cat can also be selected by the community or whatever.
Oh yeah, we get a new cat skins, but yeah, that's purely.
Yeah, we get
real
real
to say
cats.
about that. It's just that seems really silly. I mean,
it's kind of good that they interact on the community. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, retexturing cats, it seems a little bit like, didn't they already hire a guy to retexture everything?
That's an even easier solution.
No,
use a resource pack.
There are no cats. These are like real cats. That's a new mob, I think.
I just
they will add new variants. They're not retexturing the old ones.
I just hope all these new mobs and stuff actually have a use.
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
the
being
main point.
useless.
Well, who knows? Would be nice to get something that spawns and is actually interesting to farm again.
Well, I guess they want to change the trading again. And
Yeah,
with
that
all
might be
the
quite
different
interesting.
villager types that are coming up, that might get quite interesting. Maybe
Yeah.
we get some new trades out of it.
The trades are the
Depends.
most
I mean,
important
the
thing, I
last
guess.
time around they wanted to debuff it, so who knows?
Yeah, but they added the enchanting. That's quite nice, I guess.
Well, I suppose that's
quite
a matter of
annoying,
opinion.
actually.
Some people are, I mean, some people would probably have preferred the 1.7 trading, as
Yeah,
you
sure.
could get unenchanted tools, and you could get the enchantments, even though it was a little complicated because it updated all the time and that crap.
I don't know. I guess it's not much better, but it's also not much worse than before.
Well, we'll see how this time turns out. What's certainly gotten harder since 1.7 is getting emeralds, so there's that.
Yeah, sure.
We will see. I guess no one is going to jump on a new version anytime soon because of the performance yet. So I guess that's
Let's
something we're
hope
also
that
going to
they'll
work
be
on.
able to improve that.
Both times they changed trading before, it got harder to get emeralds. So yeah,
Both times?
didn't they change the trading twice?
What was the other
Yeah,
time?
but the first thing is if they just remove the functionality of villagers by reducing their overall cell content to something completely like
Useless.
trivial.
Yeah, well,
Yes, I
more
agree.
treasure maps.
At the
Well,
moment,
First time they changed it, they introduced the locking up of slots.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess it would be interesting
Right,
if they
fair.
redo the mechanics of how they behave, if they maybe like trade emeralds for themselves or whatever, I don't know.
So yeah, and the second time they changed the trades actually. That's the two times that I mean.
I suppose more automatic trading would be interesting too.
Yeah, I mean they want to change the behavior,
Village
so
automation.
maybe they also share emeralds or whatever, that would be interesting.
I just hope they don't touch other mechanics of villagers. That would suck.
Pretty sure that's gonna happen.
Yeah, we can bet
Just
on
build
that,
the
they will
iron
break
farm.
everything.
Great timing. Great timing.
I wouldn't mind going back to 1.7 though. Like that village mechanics is 1.9 or 1.8 plus is kind of overpowered. Easy, I guess.
Well, I guess that the perfect enchantment villagers are a lot harder to get than anything you could ever hope to get in 1.7. Well, that's also a lie. There were some villagers for which it was incredibly difficult to get perfect class traits.
Yeah, sure.
Well, in 1.7 I had a villager. I had a perfect iron villager, and that was quite nice that they removed that.
Right, but imagine trying to get a perfect paper villager. The probability of getting paper in the last slot is extremely slim.
Well,
I think
guess
iron was even lower.
yeah.
No, pretty sure that paper was a lower one because in
Oh,
the
right, gold or
librarians
whatever.
you had a very low probability of getting gold, meaning that it was very likely to end up at the end of the.
Yeah, you have to start with ones that are already have gold at their first slot. But whatever, that's long gone.
It's also very difficult to get ones that are of gold in the first slot. I'm pretty sure, right? Anyway, not really relevant at this point.
Yeah. I guess
You're
there's
right.
also the villagers or raiding villagers.
Very useful things indeed.
Well,
I'm
it
curious on
depends
how
how
the
they
mechanics are
behave.
gonna work. Because are they like gonna be like the zombies, the sieges, or are they gonna be something totally different, have new mechanics?
Yeah, depends how they spawn, I guess. That's interesting.
Yes.
Because maybe they drop something interesting, maybe not. Who knows?
Maybe they will have some interesting perks, but yeah, we don't know for sure at this point.
Yeah, all speculations. Should we move on to Ed's video about spinning him up heads?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
I
cool.
guess.
Another very typical ad video.
Yeah, kind of a funny video where mobs can be put into a bugged state where they keep spinning. Is this vanilla behavior 1.12 as well? I'm not sure which version this is.
I'm pretty sure I have
13.
already seen a video where maybe it was Doc M who showed that if you spin a boat and then leave the boat and enter it later, that the boat keeps spinning in between. So this video here shows that it also works with mobs, that if mobs enter the boat, that the mobs keep spinning, which is quite funny.
Though again, lacks any kind of use.
Yeah, it's not very useful, sadly.
It's just
Yeah.
a cool little thing, I guess.
Well, the next video we have an expert for again, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's you.
Oh, should we skip that one? Okay. Me.
It's
Oh.
just another biome chooser video, which we've already talked about.
Yeah, exactly. So then there comes the switch of the mobs. I think I was just randomly looking into thinking about how the chunk loading works, and it just struck me that it might actually cause sort of permanent entities being loaded. And I was looking in the code, and I was like, maybe there is a way, maybe there isn't. Just logged into the world, put it out, set it up, and it worked, and I was just oh. And so it kind of made permaloaders kind of half as useful, and also 13.1 where there is no way to get any kind of chunks to stay loaded. Kind of made this really useful.
I
So
suppose.
what kind of entities are those?
Oh, I just stuck over all kinds of entities just to create a concept that you can just any kind of mob into like a mob.
That's
switch.
I
pretty
guess
cool.
this bears some similarities with the concepts from, let's call it, chunk loading antiquity that Wout showed, where he was trying to load stuff prior to it actually being processed again.
Interestingly, in the comments, Pi, I think either he sent a PM, like a private one. I didn't, like you can't see it, but he showed a video where he used piston scheduling. So he scheduled a piston every single game tick, and that also causes a permanent chunk loading effect. It's just that no one actually looked into it after him. And everyone was like, this is kind of... no one even thought about it. Like, it hit me, even if they wrecked the villages, you can use pistons to do the same thing. So we will see.
Curious. Well, is this actual permanent loading, or is it just permanent loading for mobs? Because that's what it sounded like going by the video.
Yeah, it permanently loads anything that is after the mob spawning,
Right.
and no,
What is
everything after the mob spawning kind of unloads, and that includes redstone, random ticking, and then also the player chunk map, which is kind of useless in this case because there is no players around. And then there's then it comes back to the villages and it loads, and then village sieges becomes loaded, and piston scheduling becomes loaded, and then entities, then tile entities, and all that stuff. So all the redstone stuff and all the kind of random ticking stuff, which is kind of irrelevant because there is no players, but the gist is redstone unloads for a single game tick, which wrecks everything. So it's kind of useless for redstone, but very useful for everything else that isn't redstone.
Would it work for something like a flying machine?
Yeah, it does theoretically
because
work.
piston updates would work. That would be actually very interesting, I guess. If you want
so does that also work in the nether and end dimension?
Now that you say
no
that,
players there?
It should.
Yeah, it should. You need to schedule pistons every single game tick, though. I mean, I'm not sure how you do that in a flying machine, but if you somehow manage to
Well, couldn't you take a villager on the flying machine?
You don't need to. You can use piston scheduling. And
yeah,
no one has looked
probably
into it.
Easier to take a villager than using Oh no, you can't because you don't have doors. No, it's gonna load it because there might be doors to detect, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, even if you don't use the villager, you can still use the scheduled pistons. Piston scheduling can also load chunks. So in theory, you could make a flying machine that doesn't need a permaloader and still flies and works perfect. So this is something that you probably would be interested, Xerox.
Yeah, which we'll talk about later.
No, I guess just talk about it now.
Should we skip to your video?
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
It's next anyways.
Yeah, there's nothing really interesting in between, right?
No, we already talked about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes,
we
another carpet duplicator, just one of many.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Carpet dupling.
Yeah, I managed to create a portal, an end gateway portal in the end dimension that maybe I can start in another way. I created a AND gateway portal. I converted a random AND gateway portal into a gateway portal that sends you to the outer AND islands. So, and I can do that anywhere in the AND dimension. And you can get portals that will get you really far out, and that works just by using a flying machine. Well,
So
it works kind of similar to the pig
Pig
spawner
spawner.
generation.
It's really interesting. It's just this shame that you didn't go through the details in your video. And it's kind of not become as popular as I thought it would become.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's kind of obvious if you've seen the pig spawners and know how AND gateways work. If they if they have no data.
Yeah, but most people that are technical can put the two pieces together. But generally for regular Joe, it's become like what the
You
hell?
know that I have high expectations of the people that watch these videos.
Well,
Yeah.
the question
Actually,
is for what it's used
actually
for.
the part of generating the portal is the easier part. Yeah, what we've set up there on the ProtoTech server also involves keeping the flying machine loaded for a long, long way. So we're actually going to the Worldborder.
Which
And-
might again be much easier if you maybe manage to get the piston scheduling or the villager tool.
Yeah, which is pretty
Yeah.
much not been known until what is it called? Pi
Day.
posted that video.
Well, is it the same day? Yeah, it's the same day.
Yeah, if I had a easier way to keep the flying machine loaded, that would be great. I guess I have to look into that.
But I guess it's too late anyway, right? You already started.
Yeah, it's already started, and in about 2 days it will actually generate a new portal.
Won't you be doing another one of these?
Yeah, sure. We are going 3 million blocks at a time.
Well,
so
for the next 3 million, I suppose you could use the new technique.
How long did it take till now?
Nobody.
it takes about 10 real life days for the first 3 million blocks.
So you have 2 blocks per second engines or faster ones?
It's a 3.3 engine.
Oh yeah.
And we're also using the 4.4 engine, but that one I'm using for catching up on the first one and stopping it.
Is there any reason you can't go just instantly to the Worldborder?
If you find a way to get instantly to the Worldborder, that would be super great. I
Well,
have no
okay, I
idea
guess
how
it's
you
not
would
that
do that.
easy.
Well, you could also use
Wasn't there something about there being one unload every 30,000 chunks or something too?
Yeah, so not all the priority 0 chunks are on the world diagonal.
So
the chunks that unload first. And yeah, so if you're looking in any direction, there's gonna be one after a few thousand chunks.
yeah.
So and the amount of those priority 0 chunks depend on the hash set size. So in order to increase that, we just had to load lots and lots of chunks within one autosave interval. So we loaded about 12,000 chunks, a little bit more, and that gets the hash set size up to 32,000 something.
But couldn't you, I don't know, if you T-flip-flop a lot of signals after each other, couldn't you just like program when the priority 0 chunks happen and then stop the machine or whatever?
That sounds really complicated on a flying machine that fast.
Well, yeah.
I won't say it's not possible, but it might be a lot more difficult to do.
Also, doesn't it increase the world size or the end size?
I suppose
don't know.
if you time it all,
does.
I suppose if you time it all perfectly with the unload cycle, you might be able to just pass the chunks without any problems.
I'm doing exactly that, so that's
Oh,
why I'm
right.
getting so far. I'm timing the flying machine so it doesn't fly through any of the
makes
priority 0 chunks.
Should have figured that out.
So and I can avoid about 6 of them, so 5, 6, or maybe 7, but not more.
Right.
Unless you figure out this piston scheduling stuff.
Yeah, unless I do that, but I gotta look into that. I have no idea what's it about yet.
Yeah,
But is there any practical use for it?
for the piston scheduling?
No, for like having the portal Or like
Well,
getting to
yes,
the world
of course, there are these far out iron farm thingies.
Yes, Village Overflow.
Yeah, I know of that. But is there any other use? Because I guess, I don't know, an iron farm isn't that special.
Not very practical.
I suppose
Well-
it depends if there are any other overflows that might be exploitable.
Yeah, or maybe just a floating point inaccuracies.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
There's
question if it's
one other.
worth
There is one other.
such a big one side, I don't know.
What's the other?
There is a way to resize hitboxes of entities by pushing them
Oh, right.
against. But it's in significantly small amounts. And if you, I'm not sure if it's possible. Maybe it's possible to keep doing it and resizing them, and then using the portal to send them back to the yeah. So you could pretty much like resize them up, but you can't go back to the old world with it.
That what would you use that for? That
I mean,
sounds
you could just
interesting.
make a gas that is, I don't know, 1 block bigger, but you have to
Oh,
keep
you
it
can
loaded.
make it bigger, not smaller.
Wouldn't
That could be
unloading the
pretty
mob
useful.
reload the hitbox too?
Yeah, unless they save they save the hitboxes, which is part of like that other bug. But that's something for the future, I guess.
Well, I always like to hear new ideas for what to do so far out. I guess it's not that much researched yet.
So, do you have plans for far out Village Overflow iron farm?
Not myself, but maybe someone else on the server has.
Okay. Okay.
I do find it a little bit insane that you guys decided to go all 4 directions at the same time.
How big is your end afterwards?
Yeah, because they decided to go to all 4 corners, and obviously you can go sideways in 2 directions, and then you can go to the corners just going in opposite directions when you hit the wall. But they decided
Let's
to.
go to the Worldborder once again.
Instead, they decided to make the biggest swastika in Minecraft.
Not really, that was a joke.
Gosh, no.
Yes.
But that's
So
kind
do
of
we move on? Or I don't know.
I
sure.
suppose.
Sure, move on. What's next?
Perimeter
Uh,
making
Ray.
duplicators?
ProtoTech.
We skipped the
Worst way of
carpet
making perimeters.
duplicate.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not the title, damn it.
yeah, there was not a video about carpet duping, but I guess we can move on from that. It's
Yes.
just carpet duping.
So
Yeah.
Ray made they made a perimeter on Proto with withers.
Yeah,
This must have been long before I joined the server. It's so old.
Like you just unleashed withers.
yeah. I think they used some kind of lava and placed the withers on the lava.
Well, the
point.
withers, they just fall down normally. So they place liquid, so lava that can't be blown up. So they hover somewhere in the air and then they just stay and break all the blocks around it by shooting random skulls. I don't know, but I don't know who said it, but someone said it didn't work out that great. So after, I don't know, after that video,
The cleanup would be
seems like-
horrendous.
yeah, first of all, it was, I'm not completely sure, but it was a lot of work to clean up. And I think it broke quite soon after that video.
Oh, that's why there's no result video. It sounds like it was a little bit.
Yeah, as far as I don't even know who said it. I heard it somewhere that mobs that spawned and then despawn for one tick made the withers go crazy and somewhere and break all.
Should have built a proper mob switch.
Yeah, go dig.
That makes sense. Maybe some chicken jockeys spawned and they went hostile on
Oh, I
that.
think Nancy said he worked on it. So I don't know, he's not here right now.
Well, next video, more computer tech. This time, BCD encoders and decoders. Very compact ones, actually. They are combinational, I think. Meaning that they basically have cells which take in 4 of the binary signals and then perform double on them in order to. So that means I think add 4 if it's greater than add 3 if it's greater than 5, and if those are stacked properly, you get a BCD number out. I think this explanation was terrible. Can anybody try to do a better job?
Yeah, but
Doesn't
it's
really matter, I
it's
guess.
like it's an encoder decoder, kind of interesting. 20 bits or 20 ticks for
It's 8-bit.
not shabby. Interesting stuff.
Most of the time, using one of the sequential ones is better, as you most of the time also get your inputs sequentially. But anyway,
Yeah.
next
okay,
video.
Sheen.
That's
maybe?
the best one.
Oh my
Most-
god. There is Sheen.
Sheen's water splash particle generator.
Super useful, of course.
Yes. I am sure many people will use this in the future. It's revolutionary.
Yeah, obviously you have to make the
This will
shower.
change everything.
Yeah.
I think I saw
Well-
a video where someone made a particle stream and then pushed it with slime and then made a shower or something.
Yeah, I think we had it somewhere linked in here. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not super useful, I guess. All he does is take a lot of boats on top of each other.
So then
Aesthetical.
something more interesting again by XCOM. So
No, it's actually not mine. It's Panic's instant wire, and it's one of the most
well, you made
robust.
the video, so you probably have a clue what you said in the video.
Yeah, but Panic's instant wire, he pretty much were trying to make a better instant wire than the ones that exist, and he wanted to make it two-way, and he started to like I don't know work with different ways to redirect, and bumped into this. And first we thought it was complete garbage, and then I looked into it. It looked because he took such a long time to release that video, so it took like forever. Eventually, when he releases it, I take another look at it, and it's probably the best instant wire you can build. It's super robust, never breaks. It works in most situations. It breaks in a couple of instances. You can easily get around it with using observers. I mean, it's just an insane thing that no one has like looked into instant wires with Rails. This is like the best instant wire you can put for loading chunks, transmitting data. It's lag efficient. Well, it's almost like as lag efficient as the other one.
Which frequency can it do?
It's 1 per 8 game ticks. It's similar to the other one. But the good thing is that you can't overfeed it with too many signals too fast. It just has this internal like timer where you can't, like it doesn't break. There's no way to break it.
Right.
What happens if you need to go around a corner with it?
You can just build the rails update each other, right? So you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
So you just connect them. He even has it on
Oh,
a video
right.
that he published that he actually had it going in all kinds of directions and such.
Well, upwards is probably so not possible. Or well, it is probably, I guess.
Rails can go upwards, yeah.
Yeah, sure, but the thing is quite wide, so you need like a repeater every 5 blocks up or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's not as versatile as Redstone, but it's almost for long distance, I would say.
Well, I
Sure.
see some redstone in it.
Yeah, there is a Redstone in it. There is no way to get around it.
Yeah, but the normal ones are smaller, so that's why.
But generally
don't-
speaking, I'm just saying that this is pretty much more stable and less lag for the Rails. And the Redstone, I don't know, it causes lag, but there's the other one has also Redstone. So, but the good thing is that it's not as bad as the other Rail system that Tuno figured out with observers and Rails, which is the most unstable instant wire you can build. It easily breaks. It's not autosave proof, and this one is.
Oh, I can show you an even worse instant wire that I just made. I just showed it to no one because it was so bad.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, more
Okay.
instant wires.
Seems to be very good for like loading. So like Pro Cannons is what it's for, right?
Yep, mostly for loading chunks. Yeah.
So instant loading is pretty much its #1 pro, I guess.
It could be used for signaling as well, but without permaloader, it causes some kind of weird effect where it's pulsing multiple times. I have no idea why, but someone else can figure that out.
So next up, the ice farm.
Ice farms, yay. I'm not sure, isn't this concept old?
I don't think
it's
this concept
pretty
is
This
old.
concept is broken. He made a fixed version. I think he had some waterlogged stairs or whatever that don't work because waterlogged stairs don't count as full blocks. So that version is actually broken. He made a new one that fixes that. But it's quite simple. It's just rows of ice that like form downwards.
Not really that terribly efficient either. The most optimal design for an ice farm is likely still the design employing
Water streams,
the water streams exactly.
the moving player.
Carry the player.
Still, someone
well,
I
needs to
suppose
make-
an option to make that faster would be finding a faster way to transport the player, but that's about it.
Yeah, but still, someone needs
Bring
to make
EDDs.
something that is coming close to 32K. Some automated
Yeah.
system with pistons. No one has made it yet. It's one of those things
The
that no one has
problem
made yet.
is, it seems to be that you're when pushed by a piston, you dig slower or something similar
Yes, that's
to.
why that's a problem.
You have to
What
push the
we
eyes.
conduct is quite fast. It's 18k, I think, somewhat
Ah.
close to that, because it's Mango's design and has one block more, and you almost dig all the time. The issue is rather, I don't know, picks breaking and all that kind of stuff. There's not such a long break.
Wait, you mean that there is no way to get to 72k?
The problem is, as soon as when you sit in a minecart, you mine slower, and if you get pushed by pistons, you mine slower. So the only way is kind of in water streams.
No, but
And that's-
somehow it conveyed the blocks to you. That's pretty much never been known.
Oh god, that's gonna be so
Yeah,
laggy.
it's super laggy.
Yeah, I know, but
We tried a lot
still.
around, but that's not easy. And never as fast, at least not lag free, as the normal one.
But the normal one is like 1/3 if it's possible to do it. So it would be also some challenge for if someone else is just crazy enough to build it.
Block conveyors are a pain to use in general, as everyone who's tried to build a quarry with it
Yes.
knows.
Yeah, and this is also not full block, so it's even worse.
Yeah, that can.
Well, what you could maybe use is from the old quarry we had in the end, we had a 6 km conveyor that can like push the blocks in from the side. So you need something like that, but oh man, it's so laggy.
So next up, do we want to talk about that other Minecraft video, or don't we?
Yeah, that's
we'll
just
move on. We talked about
the
it already.
highlights
Okay,
here,
so
nobody
talk
cares.
about
Okay, instant comparator line. Well, just another design. We already had mangoes. We don't really know which is better.
Well, Mango's is better because his uses redstone does, even though it's smaller, I think.
Sorry. So,
I
Does
think
Mangoes use that many observers as well?
Mango uses rail lines, and that needs a lot of observers here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that many, but not few either.
right.
But it's interesting though. It's like a different concept and different design. I think the concept was not invented by HyperX came to us one day and just told us that there is this bug and then there is the overflow with comparators, and it was the computer community, the people that make a bunch of computers, that pretty much knew about both of the bugs. I'm not sure exactly who invented them. Either was a Chinese guy that did this. Yeah, there was some Chinese guy that came up with this idea that you can instant update comparators. We don't know exactly who. And then the overflow comparators were one of the computer guys. So it's kind of the details are kind of not known. But yeah, based on those things that HyperX leaked.
What
It's
is it
quite
really usable for?
Instant comparator lines. I mean, you can transmit instant data, maybe for counting how many items you have. All kinds of applications, I guess. No one has come close to building it something that is useful for survival yet, but I mean, who knows, one day maybe.
So, next up.
Yeah, I think we have
Well,
3 duper videos.
Yeah, carpet and TNT duping again. I guess we can skip those, it's all basically the same.
Yeah,
Well, Mango updated his
Interesting.
World Eater.
yeah. We have property and T-dupers again. Fun. Now employing corals as the block providing the updates. So,
It's kind of, I have to just say this. When the 13.0 came out, everyone thought TNT duping is going to be gone, but apparently it was still around. It's like, okay, I can give it a rundown. Grum goes in and tries to fix it. Obviously, it doesn't fully succeed. They roll back the TNT fixes right before the release, and then in the release they put back the TNT duping. Everyone is going like, "What happened?" We thought they rolled it back, but then they put it back, and look into the code. It's pretty much 3-bit flags or 3 numbers. If I don't understand why they got those bit flags wrong. Did they do it intentionally? What was the purpose of it? So it's kind of funny that whoever put the code back didn't look into those 3 numbers and get them right.
Yeah,
So-
but if they are right, it's quite good fixed, right?
It's proper fixed. Those 3 numbers are like they went through the trouble putting in at least 300 lines of code. No, not to 300, but at least 150 lines of code here and there. And the updates are working perfectly. It's all a matter of just being able to get those 3 numbers right. And they like go through all the trouble and they don't get those 3 numbers right. That sounds a little bit shady. I mean, the code goes all over the place. It goes into redstone blocks, and it's intentional. It's very direct. It's really surgical. It doesn't cause any side effects to anything else. It's directly meant for TNT duping to be gone, and they somehow get those 3 numbers wrong. It doesn't feel like something is like, maybe they kept the TNT duping around, just wanted to. I have no idea.
I doubt that still. Why would you make this kind of an effort if you didn't really want to remove it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they wanted to remove them, but there is intrinsic gameplay. This is what Rock says also. There is intrinsic gameplay value that needs to be addressed. Everyone needs to be able to play with new mechanics. Obviously, you don't want to play the same old. And Rock being like trying to implement new cool mechanics. Thinking about movable dispensers, and like maybe there is some ideas behind the scene that they don't want to remove technical content. Who knows?
Really, what TNT dupers are movable block breakers. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more complicated, much more complicated. But
yeah, and much more interesting as a consequence of the complication.
Maybe try to give a summary of exactly how it works now in 1.13.1.
We will see, but it seems like 13 is also a little bit. I have no idea what to say about 13. They seem to have no regard for the survival aspects of any technical players. So we'll see.
Right. So the next video, why is that relevant? What's interesting about a 4-high sand door?
I don't know.
It's 5-high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, even if it's 5-high, that doesn't exactly make it any more interesting.
Well, it's
It's pretty
expandable. It's
compact.
like 2 lines of 2 wide and like just a line of redstone that makes it work.
Okay, I feel like if we're listing this, we could be listing a whole lot of other doors.
Well, it's not just a door. It's a 5-block piston extender,
Yeah,
and it's a pretty compact one, which is pretty cool.
more useful than a complete door, I guess.
Ah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, I suppose.
And now,
The last
all
one,
rail dupers. I think we can
Oh, yeah.
ignore this.
another one, great.
Then finally, well, Roby, you recommended this, so
Yeah, there's more, or the guy that made, wait, what did he do? Already instant comparator lines. He also made a video about super speed buds, and I think they use less redstone and are way smaller than mangoes, and also in all directions and whatever. It's quite cool.
Wait, this video I haven't seen. It's not in the list.
Yeah, I know.
Very
But I
bottom.
don't know why it wasn't added.
Oh, I see. It's just added recently. Cool
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, if someone needs super speed buds, I would use these because you can't really get much better and they are quite small.
If you actually want to detect a player, a super speed bud is always useful, as the faster, the more reliable it will be.
Sure. This is probably the most reliable you can get.
Yeah, because of connection issues. For my dirt farm, I also use one of Mango's super speed buds for that very reason.
Well, they also work for block streams that, like glass, for example. If you have a block stream
Yeah,
of glass, you
that's
can't.
another option, sure. Well, I suppose
it?
that was a list.
I think so.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff, and TT was too lazy, so we had to push it to Tuesday, right? What a guy.
I think, yeah.
I'm not complaining. I have time today, so.
So that was that. So anything else you guys want to share? I
Maybe
think Pingu is working on a video right now.
Well, Pingu can't talk.
Alright, he's working on replay stuff, yeah.
He's working on replay stuff? As in replaying
No,
footage
yeah,
modification
making a
code?
video.
Making an actual video. How boring.
Wow.
Depends on what the video is about.
Always remember, I'm a terrible YouTuber.
Oh yeah, I have a question to Xerox. What happens
yeah.
if you guys get to the point where those portals are supposed to spawn, and then 10 minutes before they spawn, the server crashes?
Then I'm gonna have a bad time, I guess.
Understatement of the year.
Will you guys roll back 10 days?
That happens.
Will you roll back 10 days?
Well, the end, I guess.
That doesn't make sense. It's just a flying machine that would be...
But the flying machine's gonna be stuck in the way of the next flying machine.
You can just build it at another height.
Go
Fair,
edit
I
TNT
suppose.
Dupe, of course.
Or you can build or I could get some new targets and move all the things to the side instead. I could do that too. That's why I made the machine, the timings programmable with that huge.
Alright, how did you find the locations
binary
even?
counter.
Oh, God.
I made a small program for that.
Oh,
Yeah, I just have to count the number of random calls that happened before, and that depends on quite some things.
yeah, sure.
I have to say though, that something that you completely missed out on mentioning. The tech for that machine is very recent. It uses all the exploits. It uses the old tech that is like pushing tile entities right as they're being created by pistons from Myron. It uses the RNG manipulation. It uses permatech. It uses the fastest flying machine 4.4. So if you go back just a couple of months, that would have been possible.
How does it
Oh,
use
yeah,
RNG
that's right.
manipulation?
Yeah, you
it's
need to
too.
predict where they spawn.
Oh, right.
That's not like how
yeah,
you
yeah,
think,
I
but yeah.
remember.
Well, with the spot, if you call it that, then with the pig spawners, you would also
Sure.
need to call them RNG manipulation.
Well, anyways, I guess we can wrap it up now.
Oh, anything else interesting, or can we really do that?
No.
No.
Sounds good.
Well, okay. So then,
Okay. So Robbie, you should end it. Probably.
I know, right? Everybody go say
you
bye.
do the honors. You did the intro. You do the outro.
God damn it.
Excellent.
Okay. That was
Can we
that.
count
I
down?
hope you guys enjoyed this recording of TMP. Tune in next week. We're going to have a special guest. TT's coming back, obviously. So hopefully he's not going to become super lazy and not show up again. But anyways,
Strikes
that's-
it, hopefully.
yeah.
Bye.
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 See ya.
Bye.
Bye.